It's okay.
It's a little dark.
No, it's okay. Actually, it's perfect. Thank you. We have a new lighting here today, so hopefully everybody will be able to see okay. And I'm Barb right here for our weekly yoga class. See if I can. It looks a little bit like off balance there, but actually, I'm actually straight up, but my feet look like they're different. Maybe I just need to move them a little. There we go. They kind of look. Oh, what happened here? There we go. It's probably just me. Okay. Well, thank you for coming, and we're here for an hour of yoga and breathing and meditation and mindfulness. So remember, there's not just yoga isn't just physical practice; it's 8 limbs. And I just wanted to let you all know that we're going to be having starting a class at the Phoenix location, which probably looks like I'll be the teacher because I got asked to do it, and that will be on Thursday nights at 5:30. So just in case you are interested, that will be live with masks and loads of space. If you've ever been to Phoenix location, you'll know that there's a bunch of space there. So, and I've taught there before. But of course, if you do come, really be great if you brought your own masks. Excuse me, your own mats. Of course, your masks. And if you have blankets or straps, yoga straps, or blocks, that would be great. So just going to grab mine and get them a little closer. Okay, so that said, let's settle in for our morning. Just kind of going in, closing your eyes, going in and down. Feel that connectedness to the ground beneath you. And if you're sitting like me, maybe the edges of your feet, maybe the sides of your calves, and maybe your sit bones are connected, either on a blanket or a cushion or directly onto your mat. And breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Feel the breath move your body. Space that you're occupying right now as you move into your practice, it's science, it's physics, I guess. The space that you occupy, and as you move in, it's the same, maybe it's geometry, I can't remember, but it's the same space, but you move in different ways. So being aware of your movements as you breathe is a way to become rooted to the moment for your mindfulness practice as you do your physical practice. Noticing the quality of your mind right now, and if it's a busy mind or maybe a slightly less busy mind, just giving your attention to where you're at in this moment. And also checking to see where your body is at. How are you feeling today coming into your practice? And breathing in as you extend your spine up. Just feel the lengthening happening, and breathing out and relaxing. And breathing in, extending the spine again. And breathing out. And And one last time, breathing in and then out. And then bring your hands to your heart center, Anjali Mudra. Your dedication for today's practice in your heart, in your mind, in your body, dedicating your intention to your practice. And then bringing your hands down to your knees. Let's open our eyes for our practice today. And with that said, let's just do some Ujjayi breathing with 3-part. We've talked about that Ujjayi breathing, ocean breathing before. If you want to change the cross of your legs, it's a good idea. So breathing in, Ujjayi breathing is like ocean breathing. And if you haven't done it before, a way to think about it is to breathing in through your mouth, like that kind of ah sound, and breathing out through your mouth. Before breathing in and breathing out. And then breathing in. And then pause, close the mouth. You're still going to have that sensation of a slight constriction at the back of the throat, and then breathe out through your nose. Carry on with that same sensation at the back of the throat, the ocean breath with the nose now. Helps to close the eyes, to hear the sound of it inside. One more breath. And it helps if you put your tongue behind your front teeth. Okay, so we're going to incorporate that into 3-part breathing, which we've done before. So that's a third in the belly, a third in the midsection. So this is like the rib cage going wide, and your back, the back of your ribs going back a little. That's the second part. And the third part is the chest, like just below the collarbones lifting. So we're going to do that a few times, and then we're going to add something to that. So using that Ujjayi breathing that we were just talking about, let's breathe that way, but we're going to do 3-part breathing and then pause at the top. And then when you release your breath, you're going to release from the belly, the midsection, upper chest. So let's just do that for a few breaths. And you can put your hands on the belly so you can kind of feel the breath as it's coming. As you know, you look like your Buddha belly, they call it. So let's do that with our Ujjayi breathing. 1/3. 1/3. 1/3 and hold. And then breathing out. 1/3. 1/3. 1/3. And when you breathe out, you can just breathe out to 9, a smooth 9 count. I'm just kind of exaggerating here for you. Let's do that again. And hold. And then breathe out just a count of 9 smoothly. That's starting from the belly, midsection, upper chest. Helps to close your eyes when you do this. And then one more time. Hold when you get to the top. And then smooth 9 counts. Ujjayi breathing. Good. So we're going to take that into a little bit of a cat-cow movement. So starting with cat. Your upper back is a little rounded. Your hands are like mushroom caps. Let me take this out of the way. They're like mushroom caps on your knees. So breathing in, again, 3-part breathing, Ujjayi breathing, and then we're going to do cat-cow added onto that. So breathing in, 1/3, then 1/3. And as you lift up the last third, you're coming back into a bit of a cow. And breathing out, 9 counts, you come back. belly, midsection, upper chest. Round your upper back. And again. To your breath cycle. You round your back at the end. Excuse me. One more time. And coming out. And release. And that's a way to combine your different pranayama practices together. Water here. Whenever I do something where I'm constricting my throat, sometimes it kind of encourages me to cough. So there we go. Water on hand. So let's just do a little bit of a neck tilt now. Sitting. And we're going to do coming with your right ear to your right shoulder. So you're tilting your neck and you're looking forward. I notice sometimes people look down, which is also a good stretch. But for this one, we're just looking out to the side, so to the right. And take the left hand and make it into a fist and then bring it behind you. So you're looking forward. You're breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And your hand is behind you. And you're stretching the left side of your neck. And then you can take your right hand on your head, move your head up, and then release this arm. And then we're going to do the other side. Switch again. So now you're going to take your left ear to your left shoulder, and your right arm goes out in a fist and goes back. And it just adds to the stretch on your neck, but you're looking forward. Breathing in and out. And then releasing. Ooh, usually I would do that, so sorry. So if you're doing this on recording, you would have put your head back up. So let's just do a little bit of shoulder circles, going forward. Just to loosen up the shoulder a little bit. Okay. And then let's just do a few circles of the hips. And you're not going from your waist would be like you're doing this thing, right? This is waist. We're going, think of the hip crease as the starting point. You're going to do a bigger circle. You might even want to put your hands behind you. You're going to do big circle, not little circle. Okay, and then the other way. It's really good to do this. Okay. Okay, good. So just a little bit of loosener. You can just do that with your feet. And we're going to come to the tummy now. Actually, child's pose first. We'll come to the tummy after that. Okay. So, get my stuff out of the way. I actually have a plan for every class, although I can change it. So I always kind of figure, what am I going to do before class? So here we are. This is what I had thought of before. So let's come back into a child's pose, first of all. And press through your palms. You're pressing the palms away from you, and you want, if you can, to have your rear end rest as close as possible to your heels. And then you're going to come up into cow pose. Because remember, we were doing cat pose before, cat-cow before. We're doing this. And coming back. And coming up. And you're breathing out as you come down through the nose, ujjayi breathing, and breathing in here and out. And then we're not going to come back up, but put your fingers in like a spidery finger. So you're stretching the outside of your arms. And feel that in your armpits. And then we're going to come forward and we're going to come onto your belly, down onto the belly now. Okay. And we're just going to do some locust pose here. So with locust pose, you want to press down through, if you're leaving your legs down, press down to the top of the feet, top of the thighs, and up from there. So we're going to start with just the hands down, so your palms down on the ground. And we're actually starting with lifting the legs, but if you get to the point where you want to keep the legs down, you can press the top of the legs. But right now we're going to press down, breathe in, and just lift the legs up. And down. Sorry if I was a little unclear there, but for this one, again, up, breathing in, coming down, breathing in, and coming down. And now interlace your hands behind your back if you can. Now, not everybody can do this. Maybe you're holding on to your wrists, but interlacing the hands is the best. So for this one, you may just want to bring your chest up and your shoulders, your chest, your head, and not your feet. If that's the case, then just press down to the top of the feet, as I talked about. So breathing in, bring your shoulders up, and then you're going to lift up, and your head comes up like a swan. Okay, pressing down for the front of the body, and coming down, breathing out. Breathing in, coming up, extend the arms out. Now some people can come up much higher than me, but my back does prevent me from going up too high. But whatever's doable for you. One more time, breathing in. And out. And this time we're going to raise the feet if you can. So everything comes up, breathing in. Locust pose. And coming down, and you can bring your hands, fold them on top like a little pillow for your head, and you can roll your hips back and forth. Noticing that we were just in effort when we were doing locust, and now we're at ease. Okay, let's come to table pose. And grab one of your blocks. And we're going to kind of come back a little bit into a bit of a child's pose here. Do this a little bit like this. I'm kind of got two mats on top of each other, so there's this change when there's only one mat. So first of all, we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So you're going to start out with the hands on a medium block. So this is my left hand on the block, and I'm kind of part way back into a child's pose. It's more like a table pose, but we're just going to bring the arms up. And press through this left hand so that you're not hanging. You saw me just kind of hanging in there. Press through to come up. Breathing in and out. So this gets a particular part of your back. And then we're going to come down. Come on to the flat setting of your block. This is my left hand. Gearing up, ready. Now let's come up again. So now you're in a slightly different part of your back for your twist. And coming down. And then bring your elbow onto the floor. This is my elbow and left forearm onto the floor, and let's do this again. So it's a different place in your back is getting the twist. And I was reading Tom Myers the other day, or listening to him on a seminar, and he was saying that when you twist and do movements in different ways, like we're doing here, it really helps the fascia out. So we get the other side now. So that's something to think about when you're, doing yoga poses. If you do the same thing all the time, it doesn't give your fascia the opportunity for different movements to invigorate it. So here we are. Now my right hand's on the block and my left arm's coming up. Up, up, up. There we are. And then coming down. Let's put this block on the flat setting. And here we come up again. And again, a different part of the back is getting a little twisty. Twists are very good because they're unusual motions. We usually don't twist a lot in everyday life. Not intentionally, anyway. And then we're gonna come down, now come down on that right forearm, and we're gonna do the same thing again. Breathing. And coming down. And let's just do a couple of cat-cows, just because these are asymmetrical poses. It's very good to follow them with this type of pose, symmetrical. So breathing in as you puff out your back like a parachute. And breathing out into cow. We were doing cat-cow earlier, a little bit different. In. And out. One more time. In. Press up, really press through your hands. And out. And good. Good, good, good. So let's do one more seated pose. And so grabbing your block, you could have it like this, or this, Virasana. I find this is a little early in practice to sit down on my heels, so I usually put one in medium setting here. And then grab your other block. You got your block here. And we're just gonna do, so my block's on medium. If your block is on low, this other one should also be on low. If you're not on a block, just use the ground. So we're just going to do a side bend. So we're going to lift our left arm up, lift before you side bend. So breathing in, lift. Now you're going to press this. This is my right hand. Press the right hand against the block as I come over to the side. Breathing out. So press into the block, and that actually just kind of pushes you up a little bit more. In and out. Ujjayi breathing. And then bring that left arm up, and we're going to go to the other side. So take your block to the other side. Now the right arm comes up, you lift up, think of lifting up. Left hand presses against the block, so it might need to be far away because you want a straight arm. And then side bend in your out breath. And press into that block. Breathing in and out. Really feel this in your body. And then let's come up. And then come standing. One thing I was just talking to Adam about, which is really super helpful, is coming to squat. Okay. That's one thing that we don't do in the West as much. If you go to a lot of countries around the world, like their toilets are like really low or on the ground, in the ground. We don't do a lot of this, so there's not that real thigh strength, that quad strength, hamstring strength. So let's just for a moment, see if you can stay in this squat. And you can bring your elbows next to your knees. Engage your core strongly here. And you can press your elbows lightly into the knees. And look at something in the ground that does not move. And then you can bring your hands down to the floor, and the knees together, and come up to standing. Long back, hands on the hip crease, over the hips. And here we are. And I can see that, I can see that you're not going to be able to see me like standing. Let's see, how can we make this better? See, sorry about that, folks. We had great for, it was great for when I was on the ground, but not so much standing, so I had to change that. I think we're good. Let me just move this over a little. He doesn't want to do it. Stay. There we go. It's a learning experience here. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of, again, balance work. So think of Tadasana. And we're going to do a little bit of balancing on your toes. So you basically, let's try this sideways. Come up on your toes and down and up. So you're really pressing on the ball of your foot and up. And it's a great balance. I'm working on this myself, so I'm not perfect at it. But then you add the hands, come up. Pressing through the feet, coming down slowly. Hopefully you're coming down to your breath, breathing in. And breathing out. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. So that's something that's very good for your ankles, just for the muscles of the foot, for the toes. I'm not an expert on feet, but I would think it would also be really good for your under feet as well, plantar area. We start with arms overhead, and we're going to come into, we're going to do 3 chair poses. So coming into chair, find your good chair. So mine's a little higher, and just make sure your knees are not over your ankles, okay? And let's come up, coming down again. So your arms are by your ears like earmuffs, and up. One more time. Okay. Some people can come way down and then up, but I wanted to have a curve in my back. I want that back curve, so if I make it like this, the curve is less there. If I come up more, the curve is more there. So it depends what you want to do with yours. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do a warrior 1 now. And this would be the right foot forward, left foot back. And you see my feet are back, hip width apart. Hip width apart. Not this outside hip, but more of the inside. But whatever is comfortable for you. And it's a slightly shorter stance. Back heel is down. Note your front knee. Is it going in? Then you can lift your front heel about 1 inch and just have your hip pull that out a little, okay? The hips themselves will generally be this direction. You can even start this way. So we're looking to the side, but the upper body now is going to rotate forward. Now, a little bit of this does come forward, but a lot of it is hanging out there. So it's really a twisting motion here. Okay. Breathing in and out. Feel the feet on the ground. Breathing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do pyramid pose. And if this is available to you, you're going to slide your hands down your back in a reverse prayer pose. First, straighten your front knee, and come down. So this is also a balance pose. Breathing in and out. Breathe, feel the muscles in the back of your left leg, those hamstrings. Now to come up, press your feet apart, engage your core, come up with a long back. There we are. And then you can release your hands and shake them out. Because it is a little constricting to be back there in like a prayer pose. I can't quite do the whole thing, but we do what we can, right? It depends on your wrist mobility. And one thing is always with any of these practices, if something hurts, just stop yourself. Don't try to push through. No pushing through here, okay? Just give yourself a break. And good things to do if you feel like I can't do this, or if I go too far, go down into child's pose or downward dog. They're great resting poses. Okay, we're going to do warrior one on the other side. Again, notice the knee. And then the arms come up, kind of to the side. And I have this thing on, so it looks like my shoulders are up by my ears, but they're actually not. I'm trying to relax the shoulders. And then coming forward. So the hips are going more that way. They do tend to come a little forward, but it's really about your upper chest. And then you're going to bring your hands behind. So warrior one to pyramid pose. And you can just slide them on the side. So your hands are in reverse prayer pose. And if you can't do this again, you can hold on to your forearms. The other one is you can interlace your hands behind your back too. It's coming forward. Breathing. And then press your feet apart, engage your core, long back, come up. And then you can release your hands, shake them out. In fact, let's do a little wrist. We've done this before, but a little wrist stretch. So this is let's just say this is my left hand in a loose fist. Keep your right hand over it. Now notice here, it's pointing in, point it up, point this up. Keep the hands where they are and then press into that left fist with your right hand. And you should feel a good stretch on the forearm. So that eye of the elbow inside, if I wasn't rotating it up, it would be out to the side. It would not be as effective. Rotating that eye of the elbow up makes it more effective. Pull in with this hand, stretch more. Then you can release, and we'll do the other way, which is this way. Okay? I feel like the sun is blasting my face when I look at my picture on here. Here we go. And then release. And let's do the other side now. So the right hand, loose fist. This hand, so my left hand goes over it, and then I'm going to take this eye of the elbow, where you donate blood, and just rotate that out if you can. And then pull in with this left hand. Pull the right fist in. Feel that stretch in the forearm and the wrist. And then release. And let's do the other way. There's a lot of different wrist stretches. This is just one of many. But especially after you do prayer pose, you kind of need to do a little, well, that type of prayer, you need to do a little stretching here. So. Good. Stretch it out. Okay, that said, let's come into downward dog now. I'm going to put these off to the side. I always, I like to do a downward dog when I'm doing yoga because it's one of the most great poses for your back, for your shoulders. And we're going to incorporate a side plank in with that. So let's just come down to the ground, knees down, hands here. So I'm not coming down with like a, and arms overhead. We can do untraditional. So this is a table pose. And let's come into our downward facing dog pose. So downward dog, again, you're gonna lift your rear end up, come down, turn your tippy toes, come down, scoop your belly. And with your arms, you can bring them out so your hands face each other. Now this is to set up your shoulders, and then you can rotate the elbows in like you're holding on a beach ball, and the hands become parallel. That's a good way to get your upper back in good shape. And actually, we start this from downward dog. I like to do it from downward dog, and then we're going to come into the plank pose to set up. And then this, so I'm not going to be mirroring you, okay? So this is my right foot coming down. I'm on the right edge of my right foot. And then the left foot can be stacked on top of this. I like to put that foot in front. Another way, if this is hard for you, you can bring that, this is my right knee, and look opposite to you, my right knee down, and then I can do this too, okay? So find the one that works for you. Again, I like this way. So my left foot is in front of my right, left arm up, and press that hand, that right hand into the ground. And then coming down. And because I can't see you the other way, I'm going to move the other way. Starting from downward dog, coming to plank. Okay. And then picking the version of plank. It's my choice or your choice. Here we are. Whoop. Okay. So maybe your knee is down. Maybe this left knee is down and you're doing this. So just find the way that works for you. And then bringing that right arm down, you're coming back down into your plank pose. And then back into downward facing dog. So from the front, I was going to show you dog. I might have done this before, but it's always good to see. So with the hands facing inwards, the elbows out, then you rotate them in, and that allows your shoulders to be broader, which you really want. You don't want them all crunched together here. And then you look back towards your back feet. Okay, hopefully that will be helpful for when you're doing your downward dog, because it has taken me years to figure this downward dog thing out. So information to you that will help you. It's not going to be the same for everybody, but okay. So we're going to come in now, and I call it clock. I think I've done this before in class, live class, but I haven't done it online. And it's a good balance pose. It's fun. You can do it at home. And you're going to start with your weight on your right foot. And I've got to look around at a clock, but there's no clock here. Okay, so I'm going to So I'm having to transcribe. So, right. So we take this left foot here and go forward. This is 12 o'clock. And that's behind is 6 o'clock. 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So we're going to start now. This is 12 o'clock coming in. Weight on the right leg. And this is 1 o'clock. Am I right on this? Let me think. I think this is 11 o'clock. Yeah, this is 11 o'clock coming in. And then 10 o'clock. If I'm wrong, you know what I'm doing. And then 9 o'clock coming in. 8 o'clock in. 7 o'clock coming in. And then 6 o'clock coming in. 6 o'clock. And then bring this left leg up into stork pose. Yay! You can take it out if you want to. Eee. And come down. Let's do the other side then. So the weight is on the left foot. And we're going to bring our left foot forward into 12. Into neutral. And then 6, neutral. 12, neutral. 6, neutral. So you're starting 12, coming to neutral. And this is 1, coming to neutral. 2, neutral. 3, neutral. 4, neutral. 5, neutral. And then 6. And move to neutral, to the center. 6. And then bring that leg up. Stork pose. And then you can bring it leg out. Yay. And then center it down. So it's just kind of fun to do that one. So with that said, look what else I have in plan for today. Oh yeah, good stuff. Let's bring our blocks to the front. And we're going to do a wide angle forward fold. And so your feet are about as wide as your legs. Yeah, one leg. So the legs are that far apart. And then just, again, coming down. So we're not coming down with a rounded back. You're coming down, in fact, if I showed you from this side, is you're coming down with a long back. Okay. Now, the best way to do this, to kind of take it off, pressure off your back, is to bend your knees slightly. And exactly, kind of bringing your thighs out. So like you're on one teacher calls it being on a fat horse. So you come down, pull out, come down, and then when you get down, you can straighten your legs. Ha. And you can walk forward into your wide-legged downward dog to start. And then walk back, grab your blocks. I would say one block probably should be good enough. And then come into a side lunge to your right. And bring your left arm up. We were doing this earlier, so this is in a different position. And also, not just coming forward, leaning back a little bit. Then coming up and bringing this left arm across the right. And kind of like an X for an upper back stretch. And then we're going to move that block to the other side, to the left side, and come to the left. Again, you're going to come bend that left knee, but also come back slightly, and then bring the right arm up. Press through that left hand. Again, you're going to the side and back slightly. And then bring that arm down and past your left arm. And then coming into center. If you can reach the ground, this is great. You might need blocks, but just do some cows. Here's cow, cat, cow, and cat, and cow, and cat. And then bring your feet out slightly. And you're going to come up, so press into the hip crease. You're going to kind of rotate up into your horse stance. And then you can have your hands just above your knees and just kind of really sit down in your horse. And so your shoulders are up by your ears. And breathe in. Feel like you're breathing into the pelvic floor. You close your eyes and feel the sensation. Breathing in the belly as well. In through the nose, out through the nose. Feel your feet on the ground. And then take your left hand and have your hand actually focused in, pressed in, pointed in. And then you're going to rotate over to your right so that this is my left shoulder. Both arms are straight as you rotate to the right. So this gets a particular part of your back as a twist. Breathing. Again, you can still feel the belly breathing here. Then coming up, bring that hand over the left knee. And now take the right hand and point it in. And now you're going to take your my right shoulder to the left, sorry. Again, I had to remind myself right there, both arms straight. We'll do one more time each side. Both arms straight. Coming up again. Here we go. And then we're just going to go ahead and bring your feet parallel. And you're going to slowly come up. So we're going to come to the ground now. And come to Baddha Konasana, which I know we've done before. So I'm going to grab my blankets because it is good when you're doing Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, to have your hips off the ground for most of us. So if you can do that, maybe you've got some cushions, but have it reasonably high. And what you want to do with something like this, feet together, try to have the inside of your arch of your foot kind of opened as much as possible. We're not here to go forward and round your upper back, though. A way to help yourself out is not just to sit on the top of the blanket, but to slide forward just a little bit. And that tilts your hips down, which is what you want. And then you can bring your hands behind your back, fingers pointed away from you. And then you're going to lift your heart. It's a really nice way to do Baddha Konasana. Lift. Another way to do it then is to come forward, and this will not require the cushions or blankets, is to actually lift, put your hands to the side, either behind you, actually pointed out to the side, and lift your hips up, and then you can come forward that way. You're still pressing through your hands. And this is actually courtesy of a teacher called Doug Keller. I was watching one of his classes, his trainings, and I thought this was a great idea. So just lifting your hips up and forward. Because none of this is my stuff. All the stuff I do, almost everything I do is from other people. So I can't take credit. There we go. So really feel the energy from your hips all the way to your knees, as almost like the energy is expanding the knee outwards. And then you can bring the legs forward and do that. Let's see what I had here. We're going to do one more. This is a follow-up on what we were doing earlier with locust pose with the block. And this is not something that's easy. It isn't easy for me, but it's still worth doing for your lower back. So what you're going to do is have the block wide, and it's in between your hands, and you're on your belly. So I can't lift up very far with this, but if you can, great. Legs are close together. I'm off my mat, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do here, get out of the way, is put my hands on either side of the block. Let me get this out of the way too. And then what you're going to do is press down through your tops of your feet, your thighs, your hips, and you're going to lift up the block. Just slightly. Press the block between your hands and then come down. Come up again, press, and down. We'll do 3 more. Up, breathe in, up, press, and down. And 2 more. And down. And up. And down. And then you rest your, rest your hands between your head and your hands here. So if you can come up really far, that's great. But it's really good for your lower back and your upper back, that particular exercise. So let's come up, and we're going to lay on, come to our backs. And actually, if you have a blanket, which would be great, this is my blanket. You don't have to do this with a blanket, but it's nice. Fold it into 3. And then you can, if you have this, you can lay on it. If your hips on the blanket, actually, I'll just I'm going to come sideways. It's easier for you to see. I'm on my blanket here, and then just rotate the legs back and forth. This is a nice thing to do if you have like a foam roller, just to help your sacrum, the hips, the muscles on the side. And then take, if whether you have a blanket or not underneath you, just interlace your hands behind your right thigh and extend your left leg out. Now, if this other leg cannot be extended out, just bend it. If you can extend it out, press through the heel, so make it active. Okay, pull this into the chest. This is Apanasana, actually Ardha Apanasana. Wind relieving pose. Now let's change legs. Feel into your body when you're doing this. Feel the sensations, the stretching, the flexibility that you have. Then just slide this leg up, and then you could bring your knees towards your shoulders. So right knee towards right shoulder, left knee towards left shoulder. And then bring the knees together, coming down, and let's come into our Shavasana. So if you have this handy dandy little blanket like this, a nice way to do your Shavasana, I think I've talked about this before, but a nice way to do your Shavasana is to take this untasseled edge and you're going to sit right in front of it. And you're going to take one of the blocks. Actually, you can take the block behind and then just lay it underneath the blanket, and that's going to cover your head. So here I am. And actually, I'm going to make this on the side. So come into your Shavasana, your very own. It could be your legs are up onto a sofa, or you could have legs up the wall. Your legs could just be stretched out. So you find what works for you. But I kind of like this. I'm sitting here on the edge. And you can, I'm going to really keep my knees bent with you if you want to extend them out. This is great. So resting, breathing. And I mentioned this before, but imagine, when you're making a photocopy on your printer, how you put a printer in the piece of paper on the printer, the glass surface, and then you press copy and it scans the paper. So a copy can be made. And so that same concept of scanning, you could now use that as scan your body from your feet, up your legs, knees, thighs, your hips, your chest and shoulders, and your neck, and then coming up to the top of your head and just scanning your body for any changes. And lastly, bringing your attention to the mind, to the landscape of your mind right now. Where is your mind? If your arms are stretched out, it's handy to have palms face the ceiling. Now breathing deeply, coming back into your room, into your space. Remember we talked about the space that you occupy. Maybe now is a good time to notice that space as you rest. And moving your fingers and toes. Again, breathe deep. And when you're ready, you can just roll to your right side and push yourself up to a comfortable seated position and close your eyes when you get there. And bring your hands to your heart center in Anjali Mudra, thinking of the heart, the mind, the body, coming all together in your practice. Thank you so much for joining me here at YMCA Rogue Valley Yoga for today. And bowing your head to your hands. Namaste. Thank you so much. Yay!